girls with miles of hobby.
Welcome back to Pat and Ken at the Holidays 2024 edition. This is our final segment, Ken. I know everybody's happy about that. I'm Pat McDonald, the Uber critic of Chicago.
You know, Pat, sending Christmas cards is a good way to let your friends and family know that you think they're worth the price of a stamp.
Do you lick it, Ken?
And I'm Ken Candela, the movie wag.
All right, this is one you picked. You did it the last minute.
I thought, I wonder if the West Wing ever had a Christmas special or a Christmas episode. It turns out they had quite a few over the years. And as I checked into it, they said this one, Excelsis Deo, was they considered the best. It just is a wonderful opening theme and one of the best, I think, to this day. The basic premise of this episode, in typical Sorkin fashion, they're talking and walking. There's a lot
Walk
of
and talk.
Maybe we'll have both. You think? You think they'll clash? It might.
Someone tell me why I'm standing here.
To weigh in on this.
I could care less.
Toby.
More?
Who's playing Santa?
Al Roker.
Playing Santa?
What's wrong with that?
Went on a diet.
How do you know these things?
I read.
We'll pat him if we have to.
There's another scene where the president is speaking to young children at the White House.
All right, let's go. Come on, I'm a busy man. I am, after all, the president of Bulgaria. No! I am the president of the United States of America. Now, who has a question? Yes, ma'am.
And
Very
the
well
thing
done.
about that, the thing about that scene is those kids are so real. It's almost like they thought they were really talking to the president. We don't know that they didn't know that they were talking.
That's true. As actors,
Okay.
they probably didn't know.
But to get to it, there's several storylines throughout the episode, but I think one of the primary ones is that a Korean vet dies.
Like on a park bench in Washington. And,
Right.
and he's wearing Toby's coat
Right.
that he had given to Goodwill, but there's a card in it.
I'm Toby Ziegler. Walter was wearing my coat and it had my business card. Did you know your brother fought in Korea?
Well, I'm sure he didn't mean nothing.
No, he...
Sometimes people start things and they...
No.
What I love the scene where Ziegler says, I'm going to try to arrange a funeral for him. And he, well, who are you? And he goes,
Your brother is entitled to a proper funeral with mourners, and I think he deserves an honor guard. And you don't know me, but I'm an influential person. I'm a very powerful person.
There's another storyline. The president's assistant, Mrs.
Lanningham.
We find out that her two sons, twin boys, were both killed in Vietnam.
So they joined up as medics, and 4 months later they were pinned down during a fight in Da Nang and were killed by enemy fire.
What you took away from her story and the emotion of it, you did the math and said she couldn't be that age. I mean, how did you go down that?
You heartless bastard.
It's hard not to think that right then they needed their mother.
There's even a sequence or a scene to that point where the president pulls Toby in and says, what are we doing here? Because he didn't even know that Toby was doing this.
Right, it was way off.
He was using
the
the
grid.
power of his office.
Hi,
Yes,
how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Apparently, I've arranged for an honor guard for somebody.
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
No, just tell me, is there anything else I've arranged for? We're still in NATO, right?
Yes, sir.
The one thing I'll point out, I think the standout scene is at the end with the montage of the military funeral. And it's intertwined with a choir singing The Little Drummer Boy.
I'd like to come along.
the script for this show was sent to the Pentagon.
Right.
They were so impressed by it, they gave Sorkin and his team permission to actually go to Arlington Memorial to film the sequence, and they provided a military guard. Everybody you see in that closing scene was actual military.
And also, obviously, Martin Sheen is a huge JFK fan. He actually played JFK in a miniseries. I like to think that the scene where he goes to the rare bookstore and takes out these obscure poetry books would be something that JFK would have done, because he was intellectually curious.
First edition, red leather label, gilt lettering, engraved frontis. Phaedrus, you know, who was a slave, but later granted his freedom by Augustus, wrote his animal fables in iambic verse.
Well, nothing says Christmas like animal fables in iambic verse.
That's what I say.
But it's just the rare combination of being a powerful man and also being a curious man, and allowing that this would formulate a kind of an outside the box thinking. And I think that's what that series did beautifully.
I try to be a little bit more optimistic to think that somewhere down the road we may see that again. I hold out hope.
So. Yes.
I believe. I'd like to believe.
You like to believe. Ken, your Christmas bell rating for In Excelsis Deo.
Definitely 4 stars. Definitely 4 stars. This is, I think, something that, and it's actually on Max right now.
Yes, Max. Very good.
HBO Max.
Yeah.
You can watch the entire series of The West Wing. But
the show won a total of 27 Emmys in its 7-year run. An incredible show. Beautiful nostalgia to watch it again. 4 bells for me for The West Wing in Excelsis Deo. Pat and Ken at the Holidays wraps up with a beautiful agreement, I guess. So we come to the end of another Pat and Ken at the Holidays, the 2024 edition. Ken, we made it. And because we just went over the West Wing episode, we thought it would be great to bring back some of the messages that former presidents made about Christmas. Love, peace, joy, hope. So many beautiful words are woven through our Christmas songs and prayers and tradition. As we celebrate this last Christmas of the 20th century, let us resolve to build a future where all people learn to love one another and to live together in harmony, where our children know true joy, and where our hopes for peace, freedom, and prosperity for all are finally realized. Bill Clinton, 1999.
Christmas is not a time or a season, but a state of mind. To cherish peace and goodwill, to be plenteous in mercy, is to have the real spirit of Christmas. If we think of these things over us, will shine a star sending its gleam of hope to the world. Calvin Coolidge. Hail to the Chiefs.
Exception for the recently elected. Merry Christmas, Ken.
Merry Christmas, Pat.